And
Who or me?
you do it.
Me.
Yeah, go
Yo,
on.
welcome back to the channel, guys. That was my intro for my video. Sorry. Nick's back. Sorry I had a week off. Miscommunication issues. I was in Cumbria with no internet. Sam was just probably drinking his own piss as usual. I mean, what do you call it? Moonshine. Sorry, guys. Swear words straight in the first 10 seconds.
Brilliant.
Other than that, we've just been having a catch up before, told us of cool stories. You missed it all, guys. So you must switch off now. Really sorry about that. Sam, are you on this side of the screen where I'm pointing?
Yes, I am.
You are.
So
How are you getting on?
before we get into that, we're going to quickly go to our sponsors and then back to it. I want to let you into a little secret. I hate paperwork, and I've just started out by myself, so I need all the help I can get. I chose Payaka because they're a UK-based team, and they understand the UK construction industry. They make running your service business really simple, and for me, that's a no-brainer. They allow you to do interactive quotes, so you can preload your quote with different options, and your customer can spec it however they want, so you don't have to endlessly requote. And to me, that's a time saver. Also, they have a mobile app that allows you to invoice, quote, and see what you've got scheduled, upcoming jobs and stuff like that for not just you, but you and your team. You can connect it all to Sage, QuickBooks, whatever accounting software you're using, and then you're good to go. So head over to payaka.com and get your free trial. It's free. There's no strings, no credit card details, none of that. Go over to payaka.com and start your free trial now. So we've got another new sponsor. Here we go. WCED. They make all types of enclosures, all types of switchgear that goes in the enclosures, plastic, metal. They got the whole range. Go to wced.co.uk and have a look at their range. It is top quality stuff. It is not your usual Chinesium. It is really, really good stuff. wced.co.uk. Super solid. Like, super solid. Beautiful powder coating. And everything they do is just high quality. And they do all of the switchgear inside, from AFDDs through to 4-pole main switches. Go and check them out. wced.co.uk. So that was our sponsors, Bundo. So
Hit me.
you are never allowed to work away again. Every time you work away, I've got no internet.
To be fair, we booked, and you'll see from the videos that have come out or coming out, I don't know. Beautiful place, paid a lot of money for it. Really nice. First night, internet, no problem at all. Played on the Xbox, PlayStation. I played my kids on the headset. It was banging. Loved it. Worked a grueling day. Come back home, opened a beer. Adam went, "Why is the Wi-Fi flashing orange?" So we Google it straight away. Oh no, wait, you can't Google it because we've got no 4G. Brilliant. We'll have to wait. Got the owner's manual out of the book below. Looked at it. Solid grip orange light. It's connected to the internet, but it's just rebooting. Flashing orange light, which means there's no internet. So I text the Airbnb lady, really sorry, but we've tried to connect to the internet. It's not working. We are both Spark, so we've rebooted it, we've reset it, we've plugged it in, we've blown into the connections, but nothing. She said, "Oh yeah, no, the internet's down throughout the whole of the area." Mint. Brilliant. Absolute mint. But that's the worst thing about that was me and Adam were sat. We just literally got in. We both opened a beer. He went for a shower. I was just sat waiting for him. He come out and he was like, "I said, mate, it's not on. We can't get it on."
Did he come out naked?
Oh, watch the video, guys. And yeah, he come out and I was like, "Mate," I've just sat there looking at pictures. You know, when there's nothing to do on your phone. I don't have any games on my phone. I was just looking at pictures that I took from 2 years ago. I was like, "This is boring." And he was like, "Is it not come back on yet?" Couldn't go on TikTok, no Instagram, no YouTube. Tried to turn the telly on to watch Police Interceptors. That crackled the screen every 3 or 4 seconds. Couldn't watch it. And I was just like, I don't know what to do. So me and Adam sat and talked for about 15 minutes. And then I'm going to bed. And then it happened for the next 3 nights as well. Like it ruined the experience because we worked our asses off and just wanted to come home and just chill for an hour. And we couldn't.
No, and especially when you can't get TikTok. TikTok's a bane of my life.
Yeah, well, we did just sat there. You know, I was half tempted. We'd just sit at the customer's house because he had banging internet. Even though we weren't living there, we just stayed there, finished the job at 8. We just sat there till 10, just catching up on things.
But forget that for a minute.
Okay.
The topic this week,
Is
I guess my way through the 18th edition.
he did guess his way through the 18th edition, and he mentioned this on the phone to me earlier on the way back from work.
Well, relax.
But
So here's what happened, right? So obviously, this week, last week, this week, whatever, I decided to take my 18th edition course. So I'm signed up. I turn up at the Electrical Academy. Links in the show notes below. Absolutely fantastic bunch of guys there and girls. It's a really, really good place. One of the best places I've visited, really, in terms of the electrical industry. Really, really good. Like proper slick operation going on there. Anyway, I haven't touched a regs book in maybe 15 years.
yeah. What colour was it
college.
what's the colour of the last one you touched?
Green.
Was that 16th?
17.
17th?
Yeah, 17th was green.
No, 17th is blue.
No, that's the 18th.
No. Oh, yeah, because mine was brown. When I did my 17th, it was brown, but that was the amendment version, wasn't it? Sorry, apologies.
So it was green. So,
E5, don't shoot me.
For that long. As we know, I'm not particularly technical. What I don't know, I'll phone Mark.
If Mark doesn't answer, he rings me and I go, I don't know.
Well, if Mark doesn't answer, I phone Davo.
Yeah, I always go to Dave. I go to Dave. Dave doesn't answer, then I go to Mark. So
Dave always answers more than Mark does.
yeah, it's because there's a beer in one hand. He can't drive with just two.
Beer in one hand and Nigel in the other.
Jesus.
But so I do. So first day one, I get there. I'm all excited. I've got my book fresh. I didn't even open the packet like before I got there.
Well, I'm going to jump in here because when I did my 18th edition, when I went to one of these courses for 3 days, an 8-bit run, we had Sparks turning up. Didn't even have the regs book. They had to buy it off the lecturer out of his boot.
Mate, there was a geezer turned up. No, I didn't think we needed it. Guess what? You did.
Cool story. Yeah, Jesus.
I bought all the little tabs that go on. So day one, had about 30 tabs on now. I was like, I've got this sussed. Anyway, done a little mock exam. So I was like, I won't do nothing tonight. I'm sweet. I'll just come in early in the morning, do the mock exam in the morning. Done the mock exam in the morning, answered about 3 questions. I was like, what? None of these tabs mean anything. Nothing.
Can I have extra time, please?
And so I was like, wow, this is not good. Anyway, spent the whole day Tuesday trying to sort of learn what's going on and stuff. Completely and utterly come out of there, and my head had gone at this point. Completely gone. I was driving home. I was like having like mild panic attacks, thinking, I literally cannot fail this. This is such a bullshit thing to fail.
Yeah, because if people listening that haven't got an idea what the regs exam is, it is a multiple choice question of 4 answers, 2 similar, 1 ridiculous, and 1 maybe this could be right. But what it is you're given the exam on a laptop timed, and you have the regs book, so you have to find the answer to the question in the regs book quickly. You have 2 minutes per answer. Is that correct?
2 minutes per question.
So you can flag it up and come back if there's a really tricky one or one that you're not sure of. You can flag it, come back at the end. But it realistically, sounding at it, you do an exam, the questions are on the screen, the answers are in this book. It's literally just find where it is in the book.
People say that, right? It's not quite like that.
No, you get panicky. Yeah.
I'll get to that in a minute. So I'm going through the book. I'm driving home. I'm panicking. I'm like, Jesus, I'm so far behind.
I'm gonna lose my job.
And you know how like everyone else in there is like, oh yeah, that was easy. And I'm like, oh, no, you're lying. You must be lying because I'm not dumb. Maybe I am. Anyway, so I got home and I was just like, I walked in, I gave Amanda a kiss, I gave Harper a kiss, and I said, don't bother me. Don't bother me again. Did you say they cried?
Yeah, no, you cried.
Yeah. And I went straight to the shed, and I didn't come out till I had sorted my life out. Big shout out to Craig Buist. I phoned him. I was like, mate, I know you do this. Give me some tips. He gave me some tips. And then Jamie done a video especially for me Jamie Blatant.
He's just texted me earlier, actually.
He done a video especially for me, put it onto YouTube about don't have too many tabs, and I was like,
just for you. He did an entire YouTube video just for you.
He did, mate.
I hope he's deleted it now.
No, because he's
oh god.
and
well, you put that in the show notes as well. Get him some views. You know what I'm saying, Sam?
Yeah, I will do. Anyway, so I went through the book. And I ripped out all my. At this point, I had about 60 little fucking tabs in my book.
Did you have the little paper ones, all the different coloured paper ones?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
No, not paper ones. These are like plastic. These are the expensive ones.
Yeah, because Adam's just bought his, and he started doing. He's paid like 15 quid for these sheets that do guidance notes on site and also the regs book. And he's been doing it the past few days. And look at it, I think, Jesus Christ, that looks good compared to my old one, where it is, like you said, there's probably 120 stickers all across the top, down the side, and at the bottom, and overlapped on each other.
So what I did, I got the book, I took them all out, and the index at the back, I done an A to Z of tabs. I didn't do like obviously 26 tabs. I did like a couple on each one, so I could quickly get to the index. And then down the side, I've done the parts. So part 1, and how many questions it was. I don't know, 1 to 4. Part 2, 2 questions there, whatever, 5 to 6, and all the way down. So I knew when I was opening the book, there was only that much of it that I had to, for those questions, I had to go through. And it changed the game for me.
It's a good shout. Yeah, I like that.
So I went back in the next day. Yeah, I've got this now. So test day, I've got this. Don't worry about it. Like, bit cocky. I was like, I could take test now and pass. Typical Sam moment. You know?
That does sound like you. I'll be completely honest.
I take test now and pass. I ain't bothered, mate. Anyway, so I done a little mock. Failed massively. Didn't even answer 10 questions. I was like, well, that's a problem. Anyway, so I thought, oh, it's only the mock. Take me to the big show and I'll perform. Don't worry about it. Anyway, finally get to the big show now, and I'm doing it, and I'm going through it, and I'm like, fucking, what's going on here? Why is this so hard?
Name and surname. What is it?
Listen, it was so much harder, and like the first thing was something about some disconnection time, ADS.
0.4.
What they had abbreviated automatic disconnection supply to ADS.
That's normal on a test sheet, ADS.
I didn't know, right? And it completely threw me. I spent about 5 minutes trying to find what ADS was. And I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? I can't even answer question 1, and these are the easy questions. Anyway, I'm sitting there thinking, right, just get your... Right, flag that, come back to it. Anyway, go through, and I ain't got one right so far. Like, I know I haven't. I've flagged everyone so far. Anyway, I've got into a bit of a
is it 40 questions, is it? Is it 40?
60. You've got to get 36 right.
Yeah.
It's not even a hard, like, it's not even a steep number. Anyway, I'm going through, and then I look up, and it goes, and it flashes up. You got 30 minutes left. I'm like... And you know me, I sweat opening a bag of crisps. Anyway, I'm all sweating, and I'm all like, what do you mean? Half an hour. I've done 26 questions. Right? Here's a good thing. Those 26 questions, I've got 100% on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's I've got the sheet over there. And then, I'm like, well, all right, so just carry on. The next ones might be easy ones, and it all catches up. Anyway, get to about 10 minutes left. And I've only answered 37 questions or something. I'm like, well, there's no guarantee I've passed. I need to just roll the dice now.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know how many I've got right at this stage.
Yeah, of course. How
many I've got wrong. I'm like, I've got to roll the dice. So I closed the book, and I just went on instinct. Not guessing, but educated guess.
Educated guess, yeah.
Like, I just...
That's what my life is.
And I just fucking banged them out, and then... I had like 2 minutes left. Went downstairs, and Kev, the guy who taught us and all that, he's the owner of the place. He goes, "How do you think you've done?" I was like, "There's no way I've passed that, because I had to roll the dice on the last 30 questions." He goes, "What do you mean?" I was like, I had to roll the dice. I had to just take educated guesses at the answers because I didn't have enough time left. I spent way too much time fanning about in the book. And he was like, he walks over to the machine, prints it out. Mate, look at that. And it was a pass. And I got goosebumps and everything. I was like, yes, I'm so brainy.
Oh, God, no. No, please don't think that, Sam.
I'm so brainy. And do you know what my pass mark was?
Go on.
98%. No, it wasn't.
I was going to say, how did you beat me by 1%?
No, it was 70 something.
Still good, though.
Mate.
I got 82 or something like that. Like, I was annoyed that I didn't get, I thought I was going to get 90s. But it was the last like 3 questions. I looked at me and because of my dyslexia, by that point, all words just turned to nothing on the screen. I told them about it. Can I get longer? And they were like,
no. Don't come with your bullshit excuses.
Yeah, I had my orange glasses on and everything. I was like, I don't wear these for fun, mate. And no, by that point, I just couldn't read anymore. I was like, oh.
But I've got a thing for you, right? It's quite a difficult test. Okay, it's quite a difficult test in terms of you don't
prep for it. Yeah,
you do have to, like, you can't
just turn up and take an 18. Some people could.
Mark can.
The majority of people, Sam and me, no, there is no way.
Like I'm not super academic. I'm smart and I can.
No, I wouldn't say you're smart. I think you're logical.
Rude.
No, it's a fact. You ain't smart. I'm not smart. I'm logical, and I think we have good common sense, which gets you quite far.
Anyway, right?
Fact.
And I've got quite a good grasp of the English language. I can't spell, but I can put together a sentence quite decently.
Yeah, when you don't speak like you're from Croydon. Yeah, when you actually have an adult conversation.
You're from Birmingham. It's literally
I'm not from Birmingham.
In the world.
We're in the Midlands.
Mate, the Midlands is the worst accent in the world.
How is it? It's not even an accent like yours.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Birmingham.
Do you want some drugs? That's what everyone from Croydon says.
I'm like, yes, please. But so anyway, the questions, right? And the city guilds need to answer this. So if you're listening, you probably ain't, because who would? Not barely anyone listens anyway. But you need.
Sorry to all the listeners that are actually listening. Please slate Sam in the comments because that's unacceptable.
It's a piss take, right? It's already like this is a. It's quite important for an electrician to be able to pass these exams. So there's a bit of pressure on you anyway, and it's it's not an easy exam. It's not super difficult, but it's not an easy exam. Why do they need to write it like they don't write it for a normal person, do they?
No, they write it for the Dave Saveries and Mark Allisons of the world.
Like, why do you need to write it so complicated? It's already long to go through the book, find out, right, go there and find the correct answer, cross-reference it, make sure you ain't got no, like, because this is another thing they do. They'll put like, and then if you attach unwarranting, and then if you attach warranting, do you know what I mean? Something like that, and you're like, so you might click on what you think's the right answer because you ain't read it properly. Stuff like that. It's just little things put in there to catch you out. The way they construct the sentences. Why have you got to do that? Why have you got to ask a question?
I actually just think that's life. I think
it's
not. A lot of things are like that. Just to catch you out. Why
construct the sentences to go, what should you not do when you're doing this and you shouldn't be? And it's like,
when is it correct not to be correct when it's the correct not way?
Yeah. What? And you're like, just ask a question. Like you're talking to a tradesman, please. Not like you're talking to, I don't know, some bod in an office.
Oh, I thought you were going to give an example.
Write it for a tradesman. Because it's already hard enough. It already means a hell of a lot to us because without it, we can't renew our cards or get out, like, we can't stay on our competent person scheme, NICEIC, whatever. You don't need to do that. You don't need to add confusion and panic to the situation. We're already confused and panicked. That's why we're not working in a bank. We're tradesmen. We're not academic. I
think you could work in the bank, Sam. I think you could.
I would be arrested and in prison quite quickly.
Mm-hmm. 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 Just the way you speak to people, I'm not surprised you haven't been arrested.
What do you mean?
Just the accent.
Mate, there's not. Listen, in the show notes, sorry, in the comments below, just please tell Nick that the Birmingham Midlands accent is
I'm from
literally the worst
Birmingham.
one.
I'm not.
It's the
I'm
worst
not.
one.
I
Even the
haven't got an
Peaky Blinders
accent.
couldn't
If
save
anything,
you.
I'm posh. Thank you very much. Posh. You
Right.
go up north, they sound weird. You go down south, they sound weird. Around this area, beautiful. That's what we are.
No, even the Peaky Blinders couldn't make it look decent.
Peaky, I'm not from Birmingham. I live in about 45 minutes away from Birmingham.
Yeah, but that's like it's still the same sort
Or
of.
Dudley. What I think is so crazy, you go from here, less than 40 minutes, there's about 9 different accents that sound atrocious compared
Dudley's
to
the worst. Dudley's one of the worst.
Dudley. Dudley from Starbridge. Right.
Yeah, it's the worst. Like Black Country is the worst. Like they literally need subtitles. Like if you had augmented reality, as soon as you got to like the Black Country, you have subtitles under.
This is what I like about TikToks when the American girls, you see her go make it, oh, I want a really nice English lad. And then there were people like, which one? Because let's be honest, Scouse, Croydon, or Manchester or Leeds. Like there's a hell of a lot of different accents. Newcastle.
Don't say
Sorry?
Croydon. Oh, mind you, we do have our own accent, really.
Yeah. Gibberish.
Listen.
I'm trying to trigger you, it's just not working.
No, it's impossible for you to do that. Listen. So yeah, that was my 18th edition experience. I was very pleased.
Well done.
I drove home quite pleased. It's not that difficult, but it is difficult, if you know what I mean.
And that's Croydon, ladies and gentlemen.
You're an idiot. So, so I'm more qualified than you.
Well, I have the 18th edition. I had it 2 years ago.
I have the 18th edition Amendment 2.
Oh, yeah.
It's a different exam, and it's harder. I also have a gold card, which you don't. So...
I didn't even start by the gold card.
I'm actually more qualified than you. How do you feel?
I'm a better electrician than you. How do you feel?
Well, that remains to be seen. The same way as you thought you were stronger than me and you got handled.
Which I am. You're heavier than me.
You got handled like a baby.
No, I didn't. You shoulder barged me and you weigh 46 stone. What do you think is going to happen?
No, you tried to have a little wrestling and you felt the power and you was a little bit shocked.
The power. I slipped into his tit by accident. It was awful.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I did.
He tried it and he was all like,
like a sweaty armpit, deep, hairy mess. It was disgusting. Well, anyway, we've completely gone off subject here, Sam. We're meant to be talking about the electrical industry.
So, what has been happening this week with you?
This week, I've been over with shout out John Bagley. Been over at one of John's jobs again.
Right, so big shout out to Bago.
He's a legend. He is.
JB Electrical.
JB Tech.
JB Tech Electrical. He is pretty much a legend.
He's one of the nicest guys I've had the pleasure of working with. I've worked with a lot of people, but he is not only kind because he's offering me to go and he's paying for us to go as well. Because I've done some stuff with the other guys, and we always say if we go and do video, it's all free. John was like, I want you to come and help out because they need the hand, but equally it helps me get Adam passed off in his portfolio for college. So he can come and do some tray work, some armor cabling, some 3-phase boards. John will literally, I've never known a man so busy and so everywhere, but keeps everything in his head ever. He just knows exactly what's happening every second of every day for the next year. But yeah, we've been up with him. He's an absolute legend. We've been doing some stuff today. I'm back there again next week. And hopefully soon we're going to be doing some 3-phase car chargers on the pillars. So we'll be installing that, which is something I would never get to do. He's going to run through the process of that. Obviously,
you're going to do a video of it.
Yeah, cabling each end is pretty standard anyway, but just what goes into it, the channel in, the concrete in, the physical posts in.
Hasn't Jordan already done this?
Sorry? Jordan's done it, but hey, who's Jordan? Yeah, I just find it interesting because it's all going to be on a 3-phase supply. It's going to be a high wattage kilowatt charger rather than just a domestic one. So loads of stuff coming up with John.
It's exciting stuff. It's not, and like you were saying, it's nice to branch out and do stuff that you don't usually do.
Yeah. So what I was saying to Sam before we started, because we already had this conversation a minute ago, is recently with the videos, I still enjoy YouTube. I still love YouTube. Sometimes it's very difficult because I've promised myself I want to do 2 videos a week, every week, for as long as possible till I can sustain it. I obviously had a week off a couple of weeks ago, but it's so difficult to try and keep doing videos that you enjoy and have enthusiasm for when it's just another fuse board. You have to find a special reason why this is a video. Yeah, why this video is being made. What makes this different to the 15 other ones you've done or the 27 other ones that the other Sparks have done on YouTube? That's why we like to do the different mounting points, the different boards, different whatever we physically can, containment that goes in, just to make it different, stand out. So every video we're doing is something different for you guys to view and to watch. And I get criticized for, oh, why have you done it like that? It's like, well, look at the other videos. I've already done it 9 times that way. Chill out, bro. Anyway, but we've stepped away from it. We did a big rewire last week. That killed me and Adam. It really did. And this week we've done a few different variation things. We did a big summer house, workshop that we've filmed. Been today with John. I'm actually off work now. I'm on holiday. And then next week we're doing a few more things with John. There's a few more things in the pipeline that it's just breaking up the usual day in, day out, being a domestic spark. And it's just a nice change of scenery, to be honest. It's a refreshing to happily to go back into what we're used to at some point.
See, because I went from doing the medical stuff to doing flat bashing. But I really enjoyed flat bashing for like a month or so. It was so nice just to like park your brain for a minute, like, because the medical stuff was so all in. I had to design circuits. There
was a lot going on in your head, wasn't
so much. Whereas I just turned up at this flat bashing job, and he's like, "Yeah, you've got to move the sockets down on the fridges on this whole floor." I was like, "Brilliant, let's do that."
Yeah,
let's do that. And it was
sorry, go on.
It's such a nice release of like just to do something else and be able to sort of just not have all that responsibility. And I suppose that's what you got working with old Bagley.
With John, I just turn up and there's a box of stuff there. And one of the nicest things was, what tools we need out of the van, Adam? An impact, a combi drill, an angle grinder, and a bag of hand tools. And that was it. And I was like, we already wore our goggles near defenders in. We had a high vis on and whatnot. We walked in, we was like, this is fantastic. And he was like, oh, have you guys got a trolley? I was like, I don't need one. Like a pack out one like Mark's got. He's got like it sorted out. Like the stacked out with the wheels. I said, if I was to do this more often, 100% invest in it. But if I don't do it enough, you can't have something like that in domestic. It doesn't work.
No.
And then done it with the trolley years ago with all the L boxes for the Bosch stuff all stacked up. Too big, too clumpy. Just, it doesn't work. And I just thought, oh, yeah, if I did this more, I could just wheel it in and I could park my van nicely and this and that. I was like, mate, this is the life. And Adam, you could see the little smirk on his face. I thought, he's getting a bit too happy about doing this. But I said, John said, there's loads more work out there if you want to give us a hand because he needs a truck. And more than happy to branch out and just travel a little bit and do something different for a while. Just change the scenery. And it was really, really nice. So thank you for that, John.
And a change of job as well. Like, it's a whole different thing. Like, you're comfortable because you're comfortable using your hands every day.
Yeah.
But the same way as, like, I don't know, doing architrave in your house. Or
it's
like
fun for the first 3 times. And after that, it's like, absolutely not.
Yeah. And then, so when you're doing the containment and stuff, you're like, oh, this is really nice. Just make sure you measure everything properly and then you cut it and you connect it together and then you put it there. And you step back and you're like, yes, that is nice.
Banging.
It's like an instant reward.
The only thing I had that was funny, I did say in the video I filmed today, is they were sort of wrapping up. So tomorrow is the last day where the handover goes from the builder to the customer. But John's in there for the customer doing extra stuff like, other things that the customer wants. But John's in there early as the builder's getting handed over. So I've got the site foreman walking around. And we had an induction with him this morning and said hello. He seemed all right. And then he come later on and John said, we need the data cables pulling into that room. So drop the tile out the ceiling. Adam went and did that, put the ladders in. And it just by happened that I was stood in there by myself looking up at the ceiling as the foreman walked by and he went, what the hell are you doing in here? I was like, doing electrics, mate. Like, I've never been spoken to or been told what to do for 13 years being self-employed. I was like, why? What's the problem? And it was the shitty attitude we both gave each other instantly. I was like, why? He says, you can't be in here. I was like, John's told me I can be in here. We're not allowed to. Why? said, because the mastic guy's coming in a minute. I was like, okay, I'll get out. Just put the tile back in. I was like, I'm sorry. And he was like, yeah, just don't go in there again. Lock the door. I was like, all right, pal. Shit
Mate, welcome
yourself.
to site life.
Like, I was being nothing but like we were messing around to start with, and then he just said that. I went, don't go in there again. Slammed the door and locked it and walked off with the key. I was like, mate, go and sit on the fucking toilet if you're about to shit your pants. Don't give it out on me. And like, I was just stood there like, okay, all right.
Mate, that's life, mate. That's life. I had a geezer, silly div. I don't know what was wrong with him. His name's Dan. He works for a company called Jaeger, and big geezer, but not very sure of himself. Like, gives it all that, but really a bit of a div. And he started mouthing off at me, shouting and all that. And I just, do you know what? Where I've been in the game so long, and I've had so many rows, and I won't say having tear-ups on site because it makes me sound like I'm something I'm not. But you have people being really aggressive on site. And a few years ago, it probably ended very differently. But I just looked at him. I was like, "Mate, you're not going to do anything. Shut up."
Yeah.
And it was just like, it's just those sites.
Was it just the power?
It's more. It's kind of like a power thing. It's kind of a stress. They're always under stress. Like, there's so much riding on it, and I can kind of see where it comes from, because when I was doing the medical stuff, where I had team and people working for me, and we had a fixed deadline, like literally can't go over one day, so it is stressful, and people just break and they just be horrible, and they get comfortable with being horrible, and that becomes their demeanor on site. And then
it was so alien to me, where I could literally just gone, hey, I don't need to fucking be here. Like, don't speak to me like that. Like, I have no issue with you fucking shouting at your back. Like, I'm nobody here. Though, like, I don't know what you're trying to achieve. And I don't know. It was just like for once in for a decade, I was just about, all right, mate, calm down. Like, fucking hell. If someone had spoke to you like that in town, you'd be half surprised to chin him one. Like, don't speak to me.
This is site.
I couldn't deal with it. Like, someone would get hurt if they carried on doing it. Like, I just can't be dealing with told what to do, especially by people that I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, and then that's exactly what it is. That is site life, mate. Like, that is site life.
Might have to get used to it a bit then. I just go, just kill him with kindness. Oh, your shoes look lovely.
No. Do you know what, mate? You just go, all right, mate. All right, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, it eats you up, and then
I'm not trying to sound like the big I am. It was just like,
don't need to be here.
What are you doing, mate? Like,
what you get is so we're gonna get all deep.
Just let you all know, after the mastic was done, I just went and fucking poked it all. I didn't really.
Yes, that would be hilarious.
Draw a dick in it.
Yeah, like I did on your picture.
Yeah. To anyone that doesn't know, the picture that I got from Sparks magazine when I was on the cover up here, when Sam was here, he got a Sharpie off my side and drew a dick on my face. Sorry, a dick going into my face. Just to correct myself there. And it's still on there now. I can't get it off. Yeah. So if Sam ever wants to come around anyone's house listening to this, I would advise against it, because he also eats like a fucking pig at your dining room table in front of your other half.
And it tells her to pack your bags.
Anyway, we divulge once again, Sam.
Yeah, so here's the thing about working on site like that. It's what you get is a lot of people working from paycheck to paycheck, so they have to shut their mouth, like, because if they don't get paid next week, they're going under.
Yeah, I get that.
And they kind of work from a point of desperation. So then people being unkind, and it becomes their habit, and it becomes how they interact with people. And most of the people doing the contracting just take it because they're probably earning more money than they think they should do, and stuff like that, like 200 quid a day, just take it on the chin. And they think and you get into this whole cycle of what's acceptable. And I had like an epiphany moment about 5 years ago. I was just like, if I've got this amount of money in my bank account, I don't need to be here.
Yeah.
So you'll talk to me with respect, or I'll just go. Yeah. And they'll go then, I'll replace you tomorrow. And you're like, sweet, it's not a problem.
bye.
Yeah.
It just,
So it's just
it
about-
wouldn't sit well with me. Not for I've always had this thing about not being told what to do. I've always had a bone on my chip on my shoulder about it. My dad was exactly the same. When you get a sweet taste of self-employed life, there is honestly no going back. You cannot go back to being told what to do by someone or what time to be somewhere and when and how to dress. Like, fucking hell. Please, I get angry even
PPE
thinking
as well.
about it. It really
PPE as
pisses
well.
me off.
Where's your hat, mate? Where's your glasses?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, to be fair, it was quite relaxed on that site because it was all it was
Is
the
it end of the
handover day
job?
tomorrow. What?
Is the end of the job?
Yeah, and they were just very relaxed,
Yeah.
which was sound by me. But if they wanted me to wear goggles, hats, masks, whatever, no problem. But we were still wearing our PPE when we were using the angle grinders, or we didn't drill anything to be fair other than the combi drill, but we were still doing things correctly. Like we didn't want to annoy anyone. It wasn't my site. I'm not going to get John in trouble.
No.
Like, that's not what I'm there for.
I've got a theory, and on every site, it doesn't matter how big it is or how small it is. There's always one prick that you're going to fall out with. Just life.
That
There's
could be
always
me
a
with someone. I could be the prick. I hope not.
Probably.
I don't got enough sites, guys. Don't worry. I'll just take the piss out on you and you can do it back to me. It's fine. Let's end it here, guys. Thank you very much all for listening. Go and check the show notes out, and we'll see you next week. Take care now. Bye-bye then. No?
Monday Club are out.